It is not the experience of today that drives us mad. It is the remorse of bitterness for something which happened yesterday and the dread of what tomorrow may bring. This quote from an unknown author can sum up the daily thoughts of a sexually assaulted victim, as horrifying as it may sound. It can be prevented under the teachings of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the weapon for self-defense. In the early 19th century, the samurai warriors of Japan utilized the arts of judo and jiu-jitsu to defeat their enemies. When fighting against armed and armored attackers, the samurai could not punch or kick their enemies because it would have no effect. Thus the reason of utilizing judo and jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu, one of the most ancient forms of martial arts, was designed on the concepts of using your opponent's leverage to neutralize your attacker by submission via arm locks, pins, and chokes. Judo, a derivative of jiu-jitsu, is the art of using off-balance weight of their opponents to throw them and cause concussions and setups for submissions. Carlos and Helio Gracie were two Brazilian judo and jiu-jitsu practitioners. Helio began the smaller and weaker brother was having trouble beating larger opponents during competitions. He constantly ventured variations of the two arts to find a way to use his opponent's force against them. In the 1920s, the Gracies began to perfect their newly found form and therefore named it Jiu-Jitsu because of the combination of the two arts. Now that you understand the origins of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, how can it help you? In March 2008, Dr. Bakari Akil conducted research on fighting and was pursuing to determine percentage of fights ending on the ground and the outcome. His research determined that over 72% out of the 300 he analyzed resulted on the ground. Out of the 72%, over 59% of the fights that ended on their back lost the fight. This study was orchestrated using YouTube street fight videos and professional MMA fights to back up his thesis. There are a high percentage of fights ending on the ground. However, most people are never taught how to defend themselves. Karate, Muay Thai, and boxing are great foundations for striking your opponents, but do not teach you how to defend and attack from the ground. Thus, delineates the basis of having Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in your life. Principles of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. There are 5 common belts in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. White being the beginner, blue having a practical knowledge of positions and transitions to submission, purple having an advanced knowledge of variations of submissions taking up to 5 years, brown belt considered a practitioner honing the skills to become a black belt. Black belts can take up to 10 years and are considered a deadly weapon, meaning they cannot use their martial arts in a street fight unless a weapon is used on them. The red belt is usually the one who has achieved the black belt rank and has studied the discipline for countless years and is usually a teacher passing on to a student of a dojo or training facility. A good example of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a weak against the strong, is Kira Gracie. Kira Gracie is a 120-pound Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner, female, who has won 10 world championships and has defeated men over 185 pounds weighing at 120 pounds. Her achievements are living proof of the advantages of Jiu-Jitsu. In conclusion, the experiences that could have happened yesterday or today does not have to be bitter but sweet. Knowing is half of the battle. Increased self-confidence and no worries of tomorrow. These are few of the many values of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You make the decision what happened today and train for tomorrow. And remember, there is no weight class in a street fight. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the weapon for self-defense.